5 expensive lies home inspectors miss, and how to make sure you don't. Buying a home is often the single largest investment a person will make in their lifetime. To protect this investment, we rely on the due diligence process. And at the heart of that process is the home inspection. We hire a professional, pay a few $100s, and expect a comprehensive report that tells us everything we need to know about the structural and mechanical integrity of the property. We trust that the inspector will uncover hidden defects, giving us the leverage to negotiate repairs or the peace of mind to proceed with the purchase. However, the reality is far more complex. The standard home inspection is, by nature, a visual and non-invasive process. Inspectors are generalists, not specialists. They are trained to identify obvious issues, but they are often not equipped or allowed to perform the destructive testing necessary to find deeply concealed problems. This gap between expectation and reality creates a fertile ground for what I call the lies of the house. These aren't always malicious lies told by sellers. Often, they're the result of clever cover-ups by flippers, lazy maintenance by landlords, or just the natural decay of a building that has been skillfully masked with paint and caulk. If an inspector misses these lies, they can cost you tens of thousands of dollars or more. Here are 5 of the most expensive lies that home inspectors frequently miss, and more importantly, how you can make sure you don't fall for them. Lie number 1, the fresh paint cover-up. What is? A fresh coat of paint is a seller's best friend. It makes a home look clean, modern, and well cared for. But paint is also the cheapest way to hide severe water damage, mold, structural cracks, and even fire damage. When water stains a ceiling or wall, a quick coat of Kills primer and a fresh layer of latex paint can make a water-damaged ceiling look brand new. Similarly, hairline cracks in foundation walls can be spackled and painted over to look like simple cosmetic imperfections. In the world of house flipping, this is often referred to as lipstick on a pig. Why inspectors miss it? Inspectors look for visual cues of water damage, like discoloration, peeling, or bubbling paint. If the damage has been freshly painted, those visual cues are gone. The inspector cannot tell if the paint is covering a small, old stain or a chronic leak that will reappear the first time it rains heavily. They also rarely use moisture meters on every single wall, as this is time-consuming. The cost of the lie. If you buy a home with a hidden roof leak or a failing window seal that is painted over, you could be looking at a roof replacement costing anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000, or extensive drywall and mold remediation costing thousands more. How to make sure you don't? Become a moisture detective. You have the right to bring specialized contractors with you to the inspection. An environmental inspector or a water damage restoration specialist uses thermal imaging cameras and pinless moisture meters. These tools can see through the paint. They will identify temperature anomalies that indicate trapped moisture or active leaks. Furthermore, ask the seller or their agent for a paint disclosure. If the seller admits they painted the basement or ceilings right before listing, it should be a massive red flag to investigate further. Lie number 2, the new roof. That isn't the re-roof scam. What is? A new roof is a major selling point. Sellers and flippers know this. However, there is a difference between a new roof and a re-roof. A re-roof involves laying new shingles over the existing old shingles. This is much cheaper and faster. While it gives the house a new look, it doesn't address the underlying issues like rotting decking, worn-out flashing, or inadequate ventilation. Furthermore, even if the roof is new, the installation might be shoddy. Why inspectors miss it? Most home inspectors are not licensed roofers. They will walk the roof if it is accessible, but they rarely get into the attic to check for light coming through the decking, or they don't climb into the tight spaces to feel for soft spots. They will note the approximate age of the roof, but they rarely pull permits to verify the work was done correctly. They look at the shingles. If they're lying flat, they often give a passing grade. The cost of the lie. If you have to replace a roof that was new 2 years ago because the decking is rotting, you aren't paying for a repair. You're paying for a full tear-off and replacement. This can easily cost $15,000 to $20,000. Furthermore, if the flashing around the chimney is bad, you're looking at water intrusion that damages the framing and insulation in the attic. How to make sure you don't? Verify the permit. Call the local building department and ask if a permit was pulled for the roof replacement. If the work was done off the books, it means it wasn't inspected by the city/county, and you should be highly suspicious. Next, get a dedicated roof inspection from a certified roofer, not just a home inspector. A roofer will go into the attic, measure the ventilation, check the decking for signs of delamination, and examine the valleys and flashing with a critical eye. Don't just accept new roof as a selling point. Demand to see the invoice and permit. Line number 3, the daisy-chained electrical system. What it is, this is a silent, hidden fire hazard. Daisy chaining often refers to the dangerous practice of connecting multiple power strips together, but in the context of a home, it refers to illegal or unsafe wiring practices. The most common lie is the 3-prong upgrade. Many old homes have 2-prong outlets. To make the house look modern, sellers or flippers will replace the 2-prong outlet with a 3-prong outlet. They do not run a new ground wire to the panel. Instead, they cheat by connecting the ground screw to the neutral wire, which is a code violation, or they simply leave it ungrounded. Another common issue is the use of push-in, backstab, wiring instead of screw terminals. Why inspectors miss it? Home inspectors check a sample of outlets, not all of them. They use a simple plug-in tester that shows open ground or correct. However, a standard plug-in tester cannot tell if the ground is a true ground or if the outlet is bootleg grounded, where the neutral is jumped to the ground. To test this, an inspector would have to use an advanced tester or physically pull the outlet out of the wall, which they generally are not allowed to do. Pulling outlets out is considered invasive by many inspection standards. The cost of the lie. The cost is about safety. Ungrounded circuits mean your electronics, computers, TVs are at risk of being fried. More importantly, it means your surge protectors are useless. In a worst-case scenario, if a short occurs, the breaker might not trip, leading to a fire. Rewiring a whole house to fix this can cost $8,000 to $15,000. How make sure you don't? Test them yourself. Buy a high-end outlet tester, like an ideal SureTest or a GFCI tester, that can measure voltage drop and indicate the presence of a bootleg ground. Test every outlet, or hire a licensed electrician to do a pre-purchase electrical audit. An electrician will pop the cover off the panel, inspect the grounds, and pull a few outlets from the wall to see what is really going on. If a house has aluminum wiring or older cloth wiring, this is an absolute must. Line number 4, the active sump pump, the dry corner. What it is, when a home has a basement or a crawl space, a sump pump is often the only thing standing between the homeowner and a flooded living room. They do not run a new ground wire to the panel. Instead, they cheat by connecting the ground screw to the neutral wire, which is a code violation, or they simply leave it ungrounded. Another common issue is the use of push-in, backstab, wiring instead of screw terminals. Why inspectors miss it? Home inspectors check a sample of outlets, not all of them. They use a simple plug-in tester that shows open ground or correct. However, a standard plug-in tester cannot tell if the ground is a true ground or if the outlet is bootleg grounded, where the neutral is jumped to the ground. To test this, an inspector would have to use an advanced tester or physically pull the outlet out of the wall, which they generally are not allowed to do. Pulling outlets out is considered invasive by many inspection standards. The cost of the lie. The cost is about safety. Ungrounded circuits mean your electronics, computers, TVs are at risk of being fried. More importantly, it means your surge protectors are useless. In a worst-case scenario, if a short occurs, the breaker might not trip, leading to a fire. Rewiring a whole house to fix this can cost $8,000 to $15,000. How make sure you don't? Test them yourself. Buy a high-end outlet tester, like an ideal SureTest or a GFCI tester, that can measure voltage drop and indicate the presence of a bootleg ground. Test every outlet, or hire a licensed electrician to do a pre-purchase electrical audit. An electrician will pop the cover off the panel, inspect the grounds, and pull a few outlets from the wall to see what is really going on. If a house has aluminum wiring or older cloth wiring, this is an absolute must. Line number 4, the active sump pump, the dry corner. What it is: when a home has a basement or a crawl space, a sump pump is often the only thing standing between the homeowner and a flooded living room. The seller provides a termite clearance letter. However, this letter often states, "No visible evidence of termites." The lie here is that the house might have a termite history that has been covered up. A previous infestation might have been treated, but the wood was never replaced. Sellers or flippers may cover up damaged wood with wood putty and paint, or they may install new drywall over damaged studs in the garage. Furthermore, the treatment itself might be a DIY spray that kills the visible swarmas but doesn't address the colony in the soil. Why inspectors miss it? Termite inspectors are only required to inspect visible areas. They use a tapping tool to listen for hollow wood. They do not open walls. If the seller has put up a new ceiling in the basement, the termite inspector cannot see the damage above that new ceiling. They also rely on the home inspector's notes, and often the two reports are combined, which dilutes the expertise of both. The cost of a lie. Hidden termite damage can compromise the structural integrity of the home. Repairing structural beams, sills, and floor joists that have been eaten away can cost $5,000 to $10,000 for a moderate case, and up to $30,000 if load-bearing walls are affected. Even after repairs, you still have to pay for the tinting and fumigation, $2,000+. How to make sure you don't get a separate specialized termite inspection from a licensed pest control company. Do not rely on a one-page form from a generalist. Ask the inspector to use a moisture meter and a thermal camera to look for hot spots, which indicate moisture and heat, often from termites. Pay extra for a borescope inspection, where the inspector drills small, inconspicuous holes into the walls to look for damaged wood in the cavities. Finally, always ask the seller to sign a disclosure regarding any previous treatments. If they say no, but the neighbor's house had termites a few years ago, be suspicious. Conclusion: the inspector is a generalist, not a guardian angel. It is crucial to understand that your home inspector is a generalist. They are your first line of defense, but they are not meant to be the only line of defense. They are experts in many things, but they are not experts in everything. They have limitations. They can't move furniture, they can't open walls, and they can't predict the future. The expensive lies we discussed, fresh paint, new roofs, electrical cheats, false sump pumps, and hidden termites, thrive in shadows where the inspector cannot legally or practically go. To protect yourself, you must shift your mindset from "the inspector will catch everything" to "the inspector will catch the obvious stuff. I need to catch the hidden stuff." How do you do this? Bring in specialists. Don't be afraid to pay for specialized inspections. A $200 electrical audit, a $100 roof inspection, and a $150 termite scan are cheap insurance against a $15,000 disaster. Be present. Attend the inspection. Don't just read the report. Walk through the house with the inspector. Ask questions. Look at the attic and the crawl space yourself. Look for the art of the cover-up. Look closely at the house. Does a room look too clean? Are there newly painted walls in the basement, but old paint elsewhere? Is there fresh caulking around the windows? These are the tells of a cover-up. Verify permits. Check the permit history. If a renovation was done without a permit, it might be beautiful, but might also be dangerous or uninsurable. By subscribing, you will be updated instantly on issues you might face in your homes. I will be covering upcoming topics, such as the truth about HVAC maintenance, how to stop getting ripped off by repairmen, foundation cracks, which ones are scary and which ones are harmless, commercial building inspections, a guide for business owners, mold remediation, scam or necessity. Don't let your building own you. Subscribe now to own your building. I look forward to reading your comments and helping you solve your problems. Thank you, and all the best with your building.